Testing, testing, testing. All right, I'm back. You're just joining. We're imaging Messier 101. I imaged this a few nights ago. Actually, I imaged this over several nights, but I'm still trying to get some more data. Wasn't too happy with the picture I just processed. Can everyone hear me okay? Right, if you're here, go ahead and take part in the poll. What do you like more to image with, a reflector or a refractor? I'm kind of torn. I like both. I like both uh, types of scopes. I'm going to be putting in about 7 more images. And we should get a little bit brighter image now. So if this is the first time you're here, what I do is I control my telescope with my Raspberry Pi. The images download onto the Pi, and then I download them from the Pi to my desktop through Wi-Fi, and then I stack them, which means things can take a while to actually stack. But slowly but surely we get a little bit more signal and the galaxy starts to pop out. It's pretty clear tonight, which is nice. And of course, the moon isn't out. But I do live in a pretty light polluted area, so it's sometimes a little bit hard to get good signal. But I'm going to go ahead and add 4 more images. So we're taking 15-second subframes. It just takes a while to download to my computer. So I've got a lot more images on the Raspberry Pi than are actually stacked. But right now we're at about 5 minutes of stacked images. Okay, we're going to have about 4 more images. So another minute or so of data stacked in serial. And it looks like we got an airplane or something passing by in one of the images. Ooh. If you're here, don't be shy. Say hi in chat or something. I don't bite, I promise. Ooh. So the download speed varies from the Pi to my computer. Sometimes it takes like 20 seconds to download 4 files, and then sometimes it takes like 2 minutes. So, but got 4 more files here. So we're at 31 images stacked. I'm going to download 4 more images. So I've been downloading images about 4 at a time. And if you're joining me, the my equipment is an old Celestron C8, and it's on a Sirius mount, imaging with a ZWO 294 monochrome camera. Currently taking just L data, so luminance. So far, we've got 1 vote for refractor. Any votes for a reflector? I'm going to go ahead and download 4 more images. Be up to about 35 stacked images. Having some guiding problems, it looks like. Not sure what's going on. Oh, probably because it's autofocusing. I've got it set to autofocus every hour, and I've already been taking images for, oh, I'd say about an hour. About an hour. I'll go ahead and add some more images into the stack. Just got done downloading 4 more images. Yeah, the download is going better than a couple nights ago. So a couple nights ago, I was also live streaming. Met some cool people from the UK, United States, New Zealand. It just took a while to download things. So we just got done with an autofocus. I'm going to check to make sure that the stars are still good. Sometimes autofocus is a bit weird. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. Just kind of double check to make sure the autofocus works correctly. I'm going to go and put in another minute of exposure. With that plane or satellite or whatever it was that got in the field of view, it's really messing with the stack. Hopefully it'll get averaged out, but who knows. Welcome, and if you're just joining, I'm imaging Messier 101. It's a galaxy about 21 million light years away. Feel free to ask me any questions you might have. I'll try my best to answer. Also got a poll going. If you do astrophotography, which do you prefer, a reflector or a refractor? The poll is anonymous, so I don't know who answers. Keep putting images into Serial to get stacked. So I download the images from my Raspberry Pi as they're being taken. So the Raspberry Pi is outside with the telescope, controlling the telescope and controlling the imaging. And then when I get a few pictures, I'll download them onto my own computer and then put them into Serial to stack. And so over time, the images, all of the images kind of get averaged together and you get more signal and you start to get rid of the noise. So at the beginning of the stream, you may have noticed, that the galaxy didn't look so bright. It looked really probably pretty bad. It still looks bad. But as we get more images stacked, things should look a little bit better. Okay, almost got 4 more images to put in. It takes a little bit longer to download the images to my PC than it does to actually take them. So I'm always running behind. I've got about 70 images that aren't stacked, which is probably about 15 minutes of data, maybe 20 minutes of data. That isn't stacked. So almost as many images. Still on the Raspberry Pi as I have actually stacked. Yeah, if you're just joining me, you can go ahead and take part in the poll if you do some imaging. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer a reflector or a refractor? We've got one vote for a refractor. Someone was here earlier, probably put their vote in. My preference is, depends. Depends on what I want to do. I think reflectors are nice in that you get the price is better on reflectors than refractors. So, which is a major plus for smaller targets like galaxies. I like both. I don't mind collimating a reflector. Collimation can be pain sometimes depending on what type of scope you have. Definitely a lot easier for a Schmidt Cassegrain than it is for something like a RC. Collimated both. I think a Newtonian, like a Daub, of course, is also fairly easy to collimate. Never used a Newtonian, just a straight Newtonian for imaging though. Only RC, Schmidt Cassegrain. I do have a Daub that I sometimes look at in terms of visual. Got 4 more images coming in. More images coming in. We're at about 23 minutes of cumulative exposure, so I'm taking 15-second subframes. So that turns out about 95 stacked images. So every 100 images, I get about 25 minutes of data. Let's see how fast the images are downloading. Seems like they're doing fine. Nice. We did have a plane. I think it was a plane. Give us a little bit of a, I don't know what to call it, cameo. You can see it in the bottom corner in one of the images. It's just so bright that it's going to take a while to average that out. Yeah, we got 100 images stacked. We're at 25 minutes. I think things are looking pretty good. Yeah, let me know in the comments where you're coming from. Maybe this is the first time you're doing a virtual star party. Looking at some images. Okay, I got another minute of exposure coming in. About 4 more images. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to stream tonight or not. Wasn't sure what the weather was going to be like a couple days ago, but it turned out to be nice. I thought might as well stream it. Maybe someone will find it interesting. Yeah, images are downloading fairly quickly tonight, which is good. Put a few more images in there to stack. When I say stack, I don't know if maybe you're not aware of what that means. So basically, when the telescope tracks the object as it moves across the sky, and so it's always in the same orientation, thanks to the fact that it's on an equatorial mount. And so because of that, almost all the pictures look the same, and you can use software to line up all the parts of the images based on where the stars are, and then you average the images together. When you average the images together, you get a better image because the astrophotography targets are usually so faint that, hey James, how are you? Got a couple people on stream. Feel like I'm kind of talking to myself. Got another vote for reflector. All good here. Thanks. How are you doing? I'm doing well. A little bit tired. I got done processing a few images. Well, I got processing my data from M101 that I took last week, and I had about 5 hours of data. And I figured I wanted some more because things were, I don't know, the spiral arms were a little bit still too noisy. Oh, I should have added in both. I should have, yep. Yep. Both is a good option. So how are things on your side of the world? Is the weather better? Yeah, I use both, love both. Same here. Yep, I've got a reflector, refractor, two reflectors that I use. The downloads are coming in a little bit faster tonight, so we've already got about 30 minutes stacked. Horrible weather, been pouring with rain. I haven't had a good night since we last spoke. Yeah, that's too bad. Is it the rainy season there? Is that what you said last time? Is that New Zealand? Yeah, winter is our rainy time. Yeah. Yeah, we've been pretty dry where I'm at. Some nights it's been cloudy, but it's been really dry. I'm having some trouble with wildfires. But I mean, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, I haven't had any wildfires around here yet, but we've been getting warnings, to be careful, not to have fires and stuff. Winter is also our galaxy season. Yeah, yeah, that's a bummer. I like galaxy season. I think galaxies are some of my favorite things to image. And I feel like they can sometimes be a little bit tricky to process because they're just, you know, live in a light polluted area. It's hard to get the gradients to look normal. I mean, like to get the gradients out and then like make the background look normal. So I'll usually have like a patch of my image that is kind of like lighter than the rest. So few years back, there were fires in Australia a couple of days. The skies were a weird doomsday red from the smoke and traveled over 2,000 kilometers to us. Yeah, that I remember a couple years back the fires being really bad, being really hot there, and just yeah, a lot of drought. Yeah, in the U.S. we've been there a couple of years, you know, luckily not too much this year, but like past couple of years out west, California, Oregon, been bad fires. I remember we got smoke even on the East Coast. Same thing, just came all the way over. A few years back, there were fires. Yeah, okay, I already read that. Yeah, yeah. I feel like Australia's been getting some pretty bad weather last couple of years. Been really warm there. It seems like in New Zealand. Yeah. Have you seen the new ZWC Star Telescope? Um, maybe. Is that I mean that's not the modular one, is it? No, probably not. Let me check it out. Let me see. CWO, C star. Oh wow. Smart telescope. That's a good price considering some of the other options out there. Yeah, it's the mini modular one. Check out the price. Yeah, wow, yeah. I was just looking at that, looking at the price. That's that's really affordable, I think, you know. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Autofocus, auto go, and tracking. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they're comparing it to the Dwarf 2. I've seen the Dwarf 2. It seems like there's gonna be a lot of competition in that area. Can the usual price $499, but $399, yeah, now. Is the yeah. It seems real easy. Seems real easy. Especially if you don't have a lot of time. You just kind of set it up and let it go. Can it do like equatorial mode? I know that I think the Dwarf 2 you could put it in equatorial mode. Let's see, what's the camera on it? Specifications. Yeah, that's all that has. I think that is it the Dwarf 2 that you can like put it in equatorial mode? Was that maybe I was seeing reviews on that? You just kind of like roughly align it with the one of your poles, either with Polaris in the northern hemisphere or somewhere near the Southern Cross in the southern hemisphere. Oh, we got another vote. We got 3 votes. 2 for fracture, 1 for reflector. Don't know the Dwarf 2 very well. Let me think. Maybe I saw some reviews on it. I think. Yeah, you can like put it on a tripod. It doesn't come with a tripod, I don't think, but you can like angle it, and so it's automatic. You can angle it in such a way that it's in equatorial mode, and then it will track in equatorial mode. So yeah, that seems like a. I mean, I'm all for like having good, easy to get into like scopes for people, that don't want to get into anything. The C Star uses the IMX 462. Oh, that's not a bad. It's not a bad sensor. I feel like WASI 462. Yeah, I feel like the camera itself is almost as expensive as the scope. Like 250, I think, for the camera, non-cooled. Also by ZW, that's like a pretty good deal, I think. Like that planetary cam. I have the IMX 462 in the QH5 version, yeah. Is QXY a little bit cheaper than ZW on average? Haven't used it yet. Guess I could check it out. I could Google that real quick. QHY. See, they're about the same. It is our only option here in New Zealand. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat little scope, I think. Yeah, hopefully like more people will be able to get into the hobby, and then maybe people will like realize how bad light pollution is. We don't get ZW here unless we import it from Australia. Anything over Australia 1000, we have to pay all sorts of duties and taxes. Yeah, that sounds like a pain. So there's no like trade agreement with Australia. I guess maybe not. I don't know. I would think. See, I would think that like just like naive me would just think that like New Zealand and Australia are so close that maybe there's some sort of like EU agreement between them. They can like trade more freely. There is, but it gets complicated. Okay. Yeah, the images are coming in faster tonight. Well, complicated when it's over. Yeah, New Zealand. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I guess it kind of makes sense. Like maybe you do want to have some taxes on things that are a little bit more expensive, but keeping less expensive things. Kind of reasonable for the average consumer. I don't know. I don't know. Just talking gibberish now. So, um, the crazy thing is, I can buy and get shipped a camera from Australia for cheaper than buying it here. Oh wow. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. That is crazy. Sometimes quicker to my door too. Wow. Huh. Is it just because Australia is just like has a bigger economy? I bought something from Intel and it arrived at my door in 24 hours. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's good. I mean, I feel like here is like High Point Scientific, which is kind of close, and it takes a couple of days at least. Yeah, they have more competition. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, bigger economy. So, okay, now we got poles changing a little bit. We got reflector at 40%, refractor 60%. So kind of neck and neck. I should have had both, but I feel like that would have been a blowout of both. But maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. I was looking at my signal to noise ratio of M50 M101 when I was processing it. I was like, how many images do I need to get a decent signal to noise ratio? Like for the outer spiral arms. Because I was doing sort of the calculations. You know, the inner core of the galaxy is pretty much fine. Like anything else that I get now is just like icing on the cake. But like the outer spiral arms are still kind of noisy. And so I'm doing some calculations on that, and it feels like I have to get double the image in time. I already got 1,000 images, so I might need like 1,000 more. So it's gonna take a while. But the processed image for the thumbnail is what I did this past week on it. The other arms are always like that. I find it so much effort getting them done out. Yeah. Yeah. Especially like M101 is just so spread out too. Like the Cigar Galaxy, like if you image that, everything is just, right there, and it just like everything's just so compact that you can get a good image without having to worry about things getting too faint. But I think I might have like a surprise. Like I was working on how to calculate SNR because I was trying to figure out the best way to do it and trying to plan how much more data that I need to collect. And I think I've got a good way to do it. So I might have a video out on that, and I might have a way, like a tutorial, to let anybody do it pretty easily, which would be good. Can't see M101 from here. Yeah, it's a little bit too north. Yeah, but there's so many targets in the southern hemisphere though that we can't see, like everything. Yeah, M83. We also have like just everything down there. Like the core of the Milky Way, you have like the whole core. That's something that like eventually I'd like to see. Go down there and go to a dark side and just look up. That's all I want to do. I don't even have the image. Just want to see it. Yeah, you guys are pretty lucky. But you guys are usually lucky with comments. Yeah. Probably. I don't know about that. But I mean, we did have a few good comments lately that were, yeah, I don't think you could see them in the southern hemisphere very well. So we're at 160 images. Just got 4 more. So hopefully I can get, I don't know, how many images do I have already? So on the Raspberry Pi, I have like 150 images. And then stacked, I have 164. So over 300. That's not bad. Probably image for another hour and a half or so tonight before I go to bed. How long am I doing for each image? 15 seconds. So every 100 images is 25 minutes. So I've got about more than an hour. Let me just check. K-star is here, make sure everything is still working. I've got it set to autofocus every hour. The last time it did it was 15 minutes ago, so in about 10 minutes it's going to autofocus again. And then guiding is good. Guiding is at 0.75. I'm happy with that. I mean, I almost feel like I could bring the exposures up a little bit if I could get guiding that consistent. I usually do 180 seconds, but Starbloat doesn't bug me too much. Yeah, have you checked out, what do you usually do to process? Like what software do you use? PixInsight, Photoshop, all the above. Serial to stack and pre-processed in Photoshop. Yeah. Yeah, you've seen the new serial, right? The beta version with the think that's really cool what they've done with integrating StarNet++ in there, so you don't have to worry as much about star bloat. I feel like I have to worry about star bloat anyway, just because the focal length is so long with that C8. It's 2,000 millimeters, which is I've never done something that long. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it is really awesome. So, yeah, I really like it. I feel though maybe sometimes I'm not aggressive enough with stretching the stars, and it can kind of look a little bit unnatural with RGB data. I think it's going to be a game changer though with narrowband imaging. It's just going to be like if I want to do tone mapping or whatever, it's going to be so easy now. Whereas before, like before StarNet++, I would have to in GIMP. I would just use GIMP, and there, the plugin Gimmick, and there's like a noise reduction, like it's kind of like a dust and scratches filter, but like for GIMP, and like you would take it and you'd like remove the stars step by step, and it just took forever. Yeah, I can't wait to start on mono. Yeah, mono is cool. It makes it so like I don't have to worry about light pollution as much, except with the oxygen channels. You still have to worry about light pollution. It's just always going to be a problem. But HA and sulfur is it's not too bad. I don't have the best filters either, but even like with cheaper filters, it just makes makes things possible in the city. So started on GIMP. Yeah, I think GIMP's a great tool. Photoshop is obviously, I think, a lot more polished and refined, and generally does things a little bit better. But I like GIMP. I'll stick with it because it's free. Let's see. Sfiboni Amazon. What's your capturing software? I'm using Ecos. So Ecos and K-Stars on a Raspberry Pi. For the one-shot color, I use the Optilong L Extreme, which sorts out any light pollution. Yeah, that's nice. I use the L Pro on the C11, but prefer the Extreme. Yeah, is the Extreme, is that a dual narrowband filter? Is that one of those? I always get confused. L Extreme. I've been thinking about getting Sfiboni telescope. Yeah, me too. They seem like good deals. Let's see. Yeah, that's a dual narrowband filter. So a pretty narrowband. Yeah. So yeah, the capturing Sfiboni at Amazon, to follow up on that question, the capturing software is just Ecos and K-Stars on my Raspberry Pi, and then I'm downloading that from the Pi to my computer and stacking it in Serial using the new live stack feature that they have. So downloads have been pretty quick tonight. A lot quicker than last time. Sometimes it takes like a minute to download 4 images. Sometimes it takes like 20 seconds. I wonder what that is. I think it's because like I have 2 Wi-Fi kind of networks on the router, like the 2 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz, and I think the Raspberry Pi last time was on the 2 gigahertz one for some reason, and it was a problem with my router not wanting to use the 5 gigahertz channel, and the 5 gigahertz is just faster. That's my theory though, because I had some problems with the router the last couple days where it was going in and out, and so you've had that before, yeah. And so I think like with me streaming on YouTube at the same time, it was just too much for that channel, like a lot of interference. Yeah, it's been a nice clear night. I'm happy. Oh, the guiding is really nice. Guiding is good. I mean, it says it's 0.57. PH2 is saying 0.6. It's the best I've had in a while, I think. I think this seeing must be good. We've had one clear night this past week, but it was windy. Yeah, I hate when that happens. I've had it, yeah, the winter time here too, like it gets clear, but it's windy because a front just moves through or whatever. That's with the OAG, yeah, yep. Off-axis guider. So I've got 2. I've got one that I use with my refractor, which is a smaller, kind of like a thin one, so it can fit everything with the back focus. And then I've got a bigger one with a bigger prism for the C8, because the thin one's prism is just too small. Like if I want to find a guide star, it's really hard, especially with imaging to the north where there are fewer stars. So it's one of the Celestron. It's the Celestron one that's meant for the C8 or for the Edge HD. I'm a little bit bummed that airplane went right through the image, but at least it was in the corner. I don't think I would have been able to find the image. I mean, I would have been able to find it. I would have had to restack everything if it was right in the middle. We're coming up on 200 images, which is of stacked data. I took my OAG off last night. I've been really battling with it. Next time I put it on, I'll try the calipers to measure it out. Yeah, when I first got an OAG, I battled it for like a week, trying to like fit everything together. So could have been worse. Could have been Starlink going through. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, hopefully something happens to where, like, I don't know, they get control of all the satellites going up. They mess with the images. So that's what I'm really hoping, that these, like, nice, like, easy to use telescopes, like the new ZW01 or the dwarf, whatever, that they get a lot of people into astronomy, and more people care about the skies, light pollution, satellites, and things like that. I'm wondering with the main flight path between Auckland and Wellington, so often get plane trails going north to south. Lucky not very bad. Luckily not very bad. Yeah. Yeah, the same here. I'm sort of in between, like, DC and a lot of places like Chicago, like DC, Chicago, DC, New York. And so we often get planes going right above, like, pristine skies where I'm imaging. Yep, sometimes needs to be done. It's getting really busy up there with all these satellite trails. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, like, just could be some simple fix, like painting them black so they're not reflecting sunlight or something. But I don't know. I mean, satellites are important, but at the same time, like, something to be said about, these low orbit satellites. Like, do we need all of them? Like Starlink, there's just so many of them. Where you could probably have just a few, you know, further out, that would do better. I don't know though. I'm not an expert, so I'm not gonna say too much, but yeah, we're past 200 images. We're at 204 images now. So over 50 minutes of data. Let's put some more images in. Yeah, it's downloading pretty well. I think we're supposed to have clear skies tomorrow night, the next night as well. I don't know if I'll stream those, but it would be nice to get some more data on M101. I might stream it, I'm not sure. Which filter are you using at the moment? Um, just a luminance filter. I think it's the Optilong. It's Optilong luminance filter, I think. And it's like a 1¼ inch filter. Maybe it's not Optilong. I don't even know. I don't even know. Because I bought it with a set. I think I was talking about this last time. I bought it with a set of, with a Starlight Express camera on cloudy nights. And I was just so happy to have filters. I didn't really care what they were. But yeah, they're Optilong for sure. Thinking about it now. And they're okay. I think with like, I don't have any light pollution filters on it. I do have a light pollution filter, like just a generic one, like a moon and sky glow type filter that's made for astrophotography, but I've stopped using it because I don't feel it helps too much with LRGB, filters. It just, I don't know. Especially like Cyril has the ability to take the gradients out from each subframe before you stack it. It makes things a lot better now. I should try it again though. I should probably run some tests with and without it. I feel though like it's so hard to do real tests unless you have two identical setups running at the same time. And one has a filter and one doesn't. And then like, yeah, then you like switch them out even. Like the next night, you change you like put the filter with one of the identical setups onto the other identical setup. So you can have like, just to make sure that you're controlling for all these weird variables that could be messing with things like seeing. Yeah, I agree. My skies are pretty good, so I don't find them necessary. Yeah. My skies aren't that good, but like with any filter you're blocking some of the light. And if it's like a galaxy, the galaxy is giving all spectrums of light, and so blocking out some of the light that's based on light pollution is also blocking out some of the light from the galaxy. I think Nebula Photos, if you know that channel, did some experiments with sky pollution filters. And I think if you're using like a one-shot color camera and you're looking at some emission nebula, then the filters will do a good job. But like if you're looking at a galaxy that has more than, just it's not going to do as well. Let's see. I'm thinking of seriously going to a basic IR UV cut filter. Yeah, that's what I have on there right now. Just UV IR. Just a cut filter's luminance filter. And I feel it does pretty well. And then you do the LRGB, it's good. And then I have for narrowband, I think I've got, I forget exactly which ones I have. I know the HA and the O3 are the cheaper Optilong ones, so they're like the 1¼ inch, and they're probably like the I want to say they're like the 6nm or maybe even the 9nm ones. I think the sulfur one though is a little bit more of a narrower band pass, so it does a little bit better. got 4 more images downloading to my computer, and halfway through the download it kind of stopped and then started again. I think it's because one of the reasons too, I think, is because like the Raspberry Pi's processor isn't that great. So if it's downloading an image from the camera as it's taking it, then it's hard for it to like send the image to my computer. So that could be another thing that's making the speeds variable. But the other night, I'm pretty sure it's because the router was giving me troubles. Okay. A few more minutes here, we'll be at 1 hour of exposure. Does anybody, I guess, I don't know, would anybody be interested in like an app that measures like signal to noise, or that you can calculate the signal to noise ratio from? That would be such a thing. Yeah, I would be too. Like I think I've got a way to do it. I think I can make a web app that does it decently. Like it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be more of an estimate of your signal to noise, but I think it should do well. Like the problem with, I guess one of the problems with those types of apps is that like there's so much variability from night to night. So if there's a little bit more like humidity in the air, then the light travels a little bit more from light pollution, and that can kind of like increase the sky glow, which messes with your signal to noise, whatever, like the ratio. So it can mess up your estimates. But I think in general, like an app where you could like measure your dark frames and measure one of your light frames and your bias frames and put in the read noise of your camera and things like that, you could, it would work pretty well. There's a there is a some guy named Craig Stark. I think he came up with PhD too, and he came up with a way to do it. And he put it on cloudy nights, and then he had a spreadsheet that he linked to his website on cloudy from cloudy nights. And his website isn't up anymore. I can't access the website. I don't know if he took the website down or what. But luckily I found the spreadsheet on like the Wayback Machine website where it archives web pages. I was able to find a copy of the Excel spreadsheet that he had, and it works pretty well. And it's fairly simple in terms of the calculations. So let me see if if the focus is okay. I'm worried the focus might be off. It looks like it's fine. I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, the focus was good. That's fine. Someone else did something to do with that SNR. I just can't remember who it was. Maybe Queef. Yeah, maybe he did it. It was probably something like that. I think I remember Chuck from Chuck's Astrophotography doing something similar too. But maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it's Queef because he does a lot of that stuff too. So I know I remember seeing some videos where he talks about like image exposure length and stuff like that. Maybe if we can check. I can't remember. One of them did it. I have to. I can't remember either. There are so many Astro videos out now. It's hard to pin it down. So keep. Okay, so I just checked. Let's add a few more pictures in here. I think we'll be at 60 minutes once these 4 pictures get stacked. Yep, 60 minutes. So let's see here. Oops. Yeah, but I hopefully, yeah, next couple days I'll probably have a video explaining all of the SNR stuff that I found based on Greg's work. I really wonder what happened to his website. He had some really good information on it on that website. I'm really sad it's gone. It's like Stark Labs. Like it was. I put it in here, but it was this website here, and then like I don't know, like I just remember like I guess he does a lot of signal to noise stuff too. Like I think he's a cognitive neuroscientist, and he does like neuroimaging stuff. He tries to like get as much signal from the neural images that he can from like the fMRI. So I was reading up on him a little bit. Um, and so he knows a lot about image processing and stuff. He had an article up there talking about F ratios, and he was comparing Newtonian reflector that was at like f4.0, and it was like an 8-inch, so 203 millimeters. And he compared that to a refractor. I think it was like 80 millimeters, but it was also f4, or maybe it was lower than that, like f3. Shot noise, read noise. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that must be it. I have to check out that video, see what we did on it, and see what I can see if there's anything I can add. Maybe he's done everything. But this guy Craig Stark, he would show like images of the horse head taken with the reflector versus the refractor, and you would think that that 233 or 203 millimeter diameter lens or diameter mirror would just outperform the smaller refractor that had a smaller f ratio, but of course a smaller diameter. And it wasn't the case. I mean, just because the f ratio was better with the refractor, you could almost see more detail in the horse head. You didn't have as much resolution, of course, but it was interesting to do the comparison. It took me so long to like wrap my head around the fact that just because you have a huge diameter telescope doesn't mean you're going to be gathering like a lot quicker. Given the same focal length, yeah, you will. But if the focal length is different, you won't be. So I guess I have to go back to the Wayback Machine to look at those articles. Star noise and read noise. I have a little bit less energy today than I think I had the last time I was streaming. I was running around with my kids this afternoon outside, so took a little bit out of me. I did a horse head one on the 72D, the very first photo I ever took. No darks or anything. Yeah, that's me too. I remember doing that with I don't know, 6 years ago with a T4i, like a Canon T4i, unmodded. What is that, like a 650D? I can't remember exactly what it is, but like it was unmodded, and it was in literally World 10 skies, and it did not turn out very well. But there was no filters or anything on it. Maybe scratch that. Maybe at that point, like I had tried putting a visual light pollution filter on it, like in between the sensor and everything. But yeah, it didn't work out. Don't use visual light pollution filters for astrophotography. It's not very good. But since then, things have gotten a lot better. People say like the mount is the most important thing. Um, in astrophotography, and I can see why that's true. Sometimes I just think the camera is just so much more important. It is one on my Instagram. Do you I have to check that out. Full of noise. Yeah. That was mine too. Mine was very bad. I still have it. Maybe I'll do one day maybe I'll just post it on YouTube or something. What it looked like. It looked pretty gnarly. It's like was that with a cooled camera or is that just a regular? PhD is beeping at me. Fine though. Nothing exciting there, just efforts for my first 2 days. And then 260 cooled camera. Yeah. Horsehead's a cool target. I like the Horsehead. I don't think I had cooling on when I did those pics. Yeah. Cooling helps a lot. Yep. Yeah, that's one of the things too with the Horsehead and the T4i. When I like the T4i, it's a nice camera, especially when we bought it a few years ago, but it was not cooled. It was in Florida, hot and humid. And so it didn't do very well. I was just so happy to get the Horsehead some Southern Pinwheel and Sombrero. Yeah, I like this. I need to do the Sombrero again. I've done it before. It's just such a cool target. Where is that right now? The problem is it's like a little bit too far south to where I'm at. Like, so there's some trees that block the Sombrero for me, and I can't really get a lot of imaging time on it, even when it's up. Let me check where that is. Because I think I did the Sombrero, I think, with I want to say like about 900 millimeter focal length, and it'd be nice to get in there with the C8 at the full 2000 millimeter focal length, which just would be pretty cool. Let's see, where is that Sombrero? Oh, it's pretty high. Yeah, that would be a good picture of the C8. Transit is at midnight. It just moves so fast across the sky here. Well, maybe it doesn't move that fast, but it just is so low. Yeah, the other thing I want to get is a shot of Series 1, yeah. Is that a Southern Hemisphere target? I'm not sure. Oh, a dwarf planet. Let's see. Between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Yeah, I've never heard of that one. That would be cool. Sounds really cool. Dwarf planets are probably magnitude 7.8 or so. Yeah. You can get the disc on a C11, I heard. Oh, wow. see, right now it's one of these days I also need to like get the ISS. I've had it pass by like when I'm doing polar alignment sometimes, or you can see it, you know, in PhD2 with the guide cam. I've seen that a couple of times just pass through, but I've never really planned it out to get it. Seems like it'd be, I don't know. It's always something that prevents me from doing. IS is so difficult and moves so fast. Yeah, yeah, and you got one chance. You got one chance, especially like if you want to get it moving across the moon. It's so crazy. I think with a C8, I could, if I planned it right, maybe I could do it. But like, I don't know. Don't know whether it would work. What's your guy doing at a star party? Manual tracking. Wow, that's pretty cool. Did, did, did the guy have a lot of practice doing it before? Yeah, done it a few times before. Yeah, I feel like the first time I would do it, I would just mess it up. But I think everybody would do. I think everybody does that. It's hard to get the right focus. I mean, maybe not the right focus, but the right exposure time. On another occasion, we had the Dobsonians to see it. Manual tracking. Yeah, yeah. That seems really like a skill you'd have to develop to be able to manually track it that like that. 10-inch Dob. Wow. Did they have um I don't know, what do you call it, like laminate on the rockers of the Dobsonian so it was smoother, so it would like track really smoothly? You can see the structure quite easy. That's pretty cool. I don't know if they have anything special. I did the tracking on one and it wasn't too bad the first time. That's cool. I guess we maybe had practice doing tracking with a DAW before, maybe it wouldn't be too hard. It's just practice. Yep. With anything, I think with astronomy, it's just practice. Unless maybe you're getting the dwarf too. Even then, I guess you would have to learn how to use it, but the learning curve doesn't seem like it would be as steep. Okay. Yep. No worries. Okay. Yep. Water is good. I'll probably in the stream in about 10 minutes or so. My brain is getting a little bit, it's slowing down at the end of the day, end of the night. Maybe go for about 10 more minutes. That sea star uses 10-second exposures, by the way. Wow. Yeah. What's the F ratio on it, I guess? Does it say? Specifications F 4.9. Yeah, 4. So it's a little bit, it's probably like 4 times as fast as the scope on there now, like, I guess, right? So if you do 10 squared divided by 4 squared. Yeah. Maybe 6.5 times, six times as fast. So yeah. But it doesn't have the resolution. So one day maybe I'll get maybe I can see if I can fit a hyperstar on it or something, but just to see what it's like to image it like F2. I'm not sure it'll fit because it's an older C8, and I don't know if there's an adapter for it or not. Yeah, with a C11, that would be quite a setup, I think. Hyperstar just costs so much. Yeah, it costs more than the scope. At least more than this what I paid for my scope, so it does cost a lot. At that point, I don't know if it's just better to get a Rasa. I don't know though. The Rasa is pretty expensive. Maybe not. There's a cheap option called Funstar, I think. Huh. I have to check that out. Wonder what the quality is like on it. Funstar. I'm just looking it up now. I see an adapter for it, but with a fast star. I don't know. Let's see here. I have to look that up later. Funstar has no pins apparently. Wow. Huh. Replace your SCT secondary mirror with an adapter for the Revolution imager. It's a Revolution imager. Never heard of that. I'm just looking up on Google right now. Let's see. Oh, I see. I've seen the Revolution imager before. Yeah, I've seen that. So I guess you just stick the Revolution imager into the Finstar, replace the secondary with a Funstar, and then stick the Revolutionary imager into it. Cloudy Knights has a few comments about it. Yeah, I have to check it out. Might be kind of interesting to try it. So, let's see. I want to see how much imaging time I've got tonight so far. Got 287 images stacked. Gonna check the Pi. How much is there? $70, $80 for the C8 version. Yeah, that's not too bad. I have to check out the reviews, see what people on Cloudy Natch are saying. Maybe it's pretty good. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But for $80, I mean, it's a. I guess I could learn how to take off my secondary mirror on my C8. That might help. Let's see here. Okay, so I've got 178, 291 images stacked. On my Raspberry Pi, I still have 179 images. So we've got 470 total. So it's 750 seconds divided by 60. Almost 2 hours. That's not bad. Worth it to play around. Yeah, I agree. I would be afraid though that I would break my C8 somehow. Like put the corrector plate on wrong or something. I just realized I didn't put the dew shield on. So hopefully, hopefully everything's okay with these images. Apparently it's really easy to do. Probably, yeah, it probably is. I mean, if it were too hard, I guess people wouldn't bother with a Hyperstar, I would think. So. Check what the dew point is to make sure. Yeah, I might have some dew on that dew shield. I mean, on the corrector plate, but hopefully not. $4.99 for the Hyperstar, not too bad. Yeah, yeah. I think I would need it. I think I would also need the adapter with it, so it would fit. Yeah, I think I'm fine with the dew. Actually, the dew point is a lot lower than what is outside. There's not a lot of humidity right now. Yeah, that's a huge jump in price for the C11 version. Are you sure it's like not $9.99 for the C8? Let's see. Because there's for the C6 it looks like it's $4.99. Let's see here. So for the yeah, it's $9.99. Yeah. Yeah, the C6, yeah, might be worth it just to get a C6 and a Hyperstar just to have an F2 scope. Although, I mean, Queeve has done that, right? And it seems like his setup is pretty good. I was surprised that they even made a Hyperstar for the C6. Oh yeah. Guess they had to do it for the whole range. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe for the Fun Star, maybe they if you use the Revolution imager, maybe it's not so bad because the image sensor is a little bit smaller. I'm just thinking about this for a second, just random thoughts. And so if the image sensor is smaller, then maybe we don't have to worry about all of the different aberrations along the edges or something. It might be worth something to try with a smaller sensor, maybe. We're almost at 75 minutes of integration time. So yep, we're getting there. The next batch, we should be about 75 minutes. Yeah, they are coming along pretty well. Still very noisy image, but you can definitely see some of the outer edges. It's nice. Hopefully, though, this will improve the SNR a little bit more. I was looking at, I was talking about this earlier, looking at the SNR from the previous images, and there's a lot of variability depending on when I took the images, and I think maybe that has a lot to do with, I guess, the altitude, how high it is in the sky, and things like that. Maybe the moon was affecting things on some of them. So I don't know. I don't know exactly. I have to check to see what the SNR is for the images tonight to try and predict how much more time I'll need. But I'm looking for like an SNR of like 60 or so on the arms, which might be doable, might not be doable. I guess M101 is up for a long time, like the whole year. So I could image it throughout the whole year if I wanted to. But yeah. Yeah, me too. I mean, I have to try it too. I mean, I've been playing with different versions of the AI, different models, different numbers of neurons and configurations of neurons and things like that. And I think I've got a better model sometime coming out, but I don't know. I have to check. There's that one. There's that one model, that original model. It just doesn't brings out so much detail, but it makes the noise so noisy that like it's hard it's just a I don't know which is better. But one thing I think though is like the AI can't improve your SNR. Like if it's gonna sharpen kind of like a noisy image, it's not gonna make the image less noisy, I guess. So I I feel too that like one of the reasons why I like that like on base is just because the SNR is so high. Like like the core of the Orion Nebula is just so there's just so much signal there that like the AI can sharpen it and it just makes it look really good. There's like an old adage, you know, with statistical modeling and things like that, like garbage in, garbage out. Like even if I put in the image of M101 and the signal noise isn't very high, the AI still isn't going to be able to like work miracles. It's just going to put I'm just putting garbage in and it's going to give me garbage out no matter what. But if I could I obviously with anything like the better your initial data are, like the better any tool is going to be at helping it process things. Yeah, but I did run the previous, you know, the what I have already through the AI and it helped. I think it helped quite a bit, you know, reduce the size of the stars and brought out some detail of the core. Yeah, it might also be because the Hubble pics are just so clean. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, got to experiment a little bit more with adding noise into the Hubble pictures, and then, but after I blur them. It'll help with everyday astrophotography pictures that aren't from Hubble. Once you train them on, you train on more terrestrial-based photos, that will probably improve. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta find some good quality terrestrial-based photos too. I think the VLT, the Very Large Telescope, would be a good candidate, but even like some really good imagers data that like are famous for taking nice pictures from Earth. Find those people and see if I can use their images to train it on. So, yeah, finding the images will be difficult. Yep. Yeah, Hubble is easy. Hubble is easy. Spitzer maybe. If they have, I don't know, maybe. Maybe JWST, but the weird diffraction spikes make me a little bit nervous. Yeah, there are a lot of Hubble pictures they can easily get. I always wonder about JWST because they're just rendered IR images. Yeah. I would think that like I think it would be not too bad when you can compare Hubble images to JWST, and depending on the filter, they're kind of similar. They can be similar, whether it's using like the near infrared or whatever filters it's using or camera it's using. Yeah, someone has pre-processed them. Yep. Same with Hubble though. Someone has pre-processed the Hubble images too. Because there are a lot of like cosmic rays in the raw Hubble files before they're stacked. So and of course you get some people who process the Hubble images better than others. That airplane trail is just not going away, is it? Like just not averaging out. I gotta find that picture and delete it before I stack it with the rest of my images. Yeah, the greater the data set, the better, I guess. Yeah. At 80 minutes. 80 minutes. Stacked images. How is it stacking? Like all of the images? It's it's okay. It takes a long time, but my computer has a lot of RAM in it, so it doesn't. It's not too bad. I feel like once I get past a certain amount of like a certain like I don't know how to explain it. Like the once the amount of images kind of overloads the RAM, I think the stacking will go a lot slower. But it takes, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to stack all of them. I don't know if that's weird. Maybe it's like rejecting a lot of images, but yeah. Oh, if you, yeah, if it, when we do the final proper stack, it'll average it out. Probably, probably. I'm thinking it will, especially because like the live stacking isn't going to like, I don't think it, rejects pixels based on, whether or not it's so far from the standard deviation of the pixel or whatever, like Windsorizing things, or it doesn't do any of that. So it would probably be okay. Yeah, the stack might be cumulative. Yeah. Right. I think I'm about done for tonight. Um, it's great talking to you, James, and everybody else who was on the stream. Uh, and maybe later this week I'll stream again, depending on how much energy I have. So and depending on the weather. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah. Thank you, James. See you around another day. Yep. Yep. Hopefully soon, and hopefully I'll have some videos out with talking about SNR and a new tool that we can use to calculate things. So, all right. Thanks. See you all later. Bye.